The largest port in Los Angeles is sinking, and not even the tariff truce can save it. The scene dominating today's Californian horizon is one of paralyzed cranes and deserted docks. An unprecedented spectacle for the largest logistics engine in North America. The data is alarming. In just 2 weeks, ship traffic has dropped by up to 35%. A figure unprecedented since the worst days of the pandemic. But there is something even more troubling. For a long 12 hours, not a single cargo ship left China bound for Los Angeles or Long Beach. A fact unseen in 5 years. There is no escape. A tragedy looms several miles out in Los Angeles. The largest port in the United States has fallen into crisis, and not even the tariff truce with China can prevent it. It's already too late. The cranes that once tirelessly danced over the Californian horizon now stand motionless like monuments to uncertainty, and the last-minute agreement between Washington and Beijing doesn't seem capable of restoring vitality to the San Pedro Bay. That logistical epicenter that once set the pulse of the American economy. The wound caused by the trade war remains open, and what was once the beating heart of maritime trade now bleeds, draining the hope of millions whose livelihoods depend on the flow of containers. The magnitude of the debacle is such that not even the shadow of the pandemic, still fresh in collective memory, feels as heavy as this logistical collapse. While the Trump administration searches for answers in a maze of erratic decisions and tangible consequences, the impact of tariffs imposed on China has dismantled the dynamics of the Port of Los Angeles, throwing it into an unprecedented plunge. In just 2 weeks, ship traffic has dropped between 32 and 35%. A devastating blow to the main artery of West Coast trade, recalling those dark months when COVID-19 paralyzed the world, but worsened by a crisis that is not caused by natural events, but by political decisions now exacting their toll. The port giant, once a symbol of efficiency and growth, is stalled, and the consequences are beginning to be felt across the country. How far will the ripple effect of this crisis reach? Just look at the departures board. In recent days, not a single cargo ship has departed China for the main Southern California ports within a 12-hour span. An unprecedented anomaly in 5 years. The scene resembles a warning postcard. The empty dock, the echo of restless workers' footsteps, and anxiety hovering like a mist over the ocean. The situation worsens when it is confirmed that the 41 ships scheduled to sail from China to San Pedro Bay, that large gateway feeding the flow of goods and products inland, were also absent. The absence of ships translates into a monumental economic halt, affecting everyone from stevedores to large warehouses and small neighborhood shops. It's a domino effect with its epicenter in the ports but rippling through the real economy of millions of Americans. The Port of Long Beach, a strategic ally of Los Angeles and an essential pillar of national trade vitality, generates over 2.7 million jobs globally, including 1.1 million in California alone, numbers now trembling in the face of the maritime activity collapse. Meanwhile, uncertainty feeds on rising prices for goods from China and the titanic effort it will take to absorb the economic and employment losses caused by the ships that never reach their destination. The numbers are cold and harsh. Shipments from China represent 45% of the Los Angeles port's business, which last year set an absolute record by receiving 10.3 million containers, surpassing the previous record by 1.7 million and growing almost 20% compared to 2023. However, these achievements now seem distant and almost ironic against the current reality. The machinery is stopping, workers fear for their future, and business owners eye the uncertain horizon with suspicion. How long can this crisis expand? What do you think will be the long-term impact if such a significant flow of cargo stops? Give us your opinion in the comment box below. The tariff truce, far from bringing real relief, barely represents a breath of fresh air for those feeling adrift in the midst of this storm. The agreement, set to last 90 days, is seen as a mere palliative incapable of fixing the structural damage the trade war has inflicted on American commerce. Mario Cordero, executive director of the Port of Long Beach, issued a troubling warning. If the situation doesn't change quickly, I mean the uncertainty we're living through, we could see empty shelves in stores. Consumers will notice this within the next 30 days. Cordero's words, reported by CNN, resonate like a sentence describing not only the precarious present, but the specter of a recession that could affect millions of American families. In this sense, the image of empty shelves becomes a symbol of a nation that, despite its pretensions of greatness, faces the fragility of a globalized and dependent economy. The fear extends beyond docks and containers. The streets of Los Angeles, the highways full of trucks, the warehouses waiting for the steady flow of goods, all feel the pulse of a crisis threatening to leave a mark on daily life. And while the Trump administration's trade policy debates between toughness and improvisation, the collateral effects of the tariff war become impossible to hide. Thus, the Port of Los Angeles, a symbol of grandeur and prosperity, transforms into a reminder of the limits of American power. The port crisis reveals a decay that goes beyond numbers. It is the realization that not even a tariff truce with China can save the world's leading economy from its own mistakes. The Port of Los Angeles, once a thriving hub of global commerce, now stands at a critical crossroads, revealing the fragile reality beneath America's economic power. The recent tariff war between the US and China, initiated under the Trump administration, has deeply wounded this vital artery of international trade, causing a drastic drop in ship traffic and threatening millions of jobs connected to the port's operations. While the brief tariff truce offers some hope, it cannot undo the structural damage or restore the confidence lost among businesses, workers, and consumers. The consequences extend beyond the docks. From warehouse employees to small shop owners across the country, the ripple effect threatens economic slowdown and even the risk of empty shelves in stores. Historically, the port's growth symbolized America's economic strength and globalization benefits. But today, it underscores the vulnerability of a supply chain dependent on political stability. The losers in this crisis are the hard-working Americans relying on steady jobs and affordable goods, while the benefits might go to countries or industries less reliant on fragile global trade flows. As tensions ease slightly, the urgent task remains to secure a long-lasting trade agreement that supports both national security and economic growth. Now it's your turn. If you found this analysis insightful, leave a comment below with your thoughts on how this port crisis might affect your daily life or the broader economy. Subscribe and hit the bell to stay updated because we'll track this developing story closely. And if you want to understand more about the history of US-China trade relations, click the video on screen now. It will surprise you.